So you're from physics background, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell me who got this 2024 Nobel Physics Prize award? Like,
Ma'am, it is the artificial intelligence-based scientists, Geoffrey Hinton and Hopfield, ma'am, for artificial intelligence learning through deep neural networking.
okay, so what are this artificial neural network? What does this word
Ma'am,
mean?
Ma'am, it is building the intelligence of a human through
Mhm.
simulating the neural networks of a human into a computer system, ma'am. So they have been designing algorithms that could basically look at the data or look at a photograph and draw particular conclusions and data sets from and find patterns and data sets from those particular images, ma'am. So they have designed something called a Boltzmann algorithm to define all of this.
So what are the applications of artificial neural network?
Ma'am, a lot of things that today are being developed into these are being integrated into defense and health sector primarily to function as a human. For example, ma'am, the neural networking is integrated into robots for surgical for doing precision surgeries. And secondly, ma'am, these are also, as Geoffrey Hinton in his Nobel lecture says, artificial intelligence built robots are going to replace humans in the factories and doing the mundane works. So there are several applications like this. I mean, health, in defense, especially.
Okay. So what lessons have you learned by watching this science fiction movie?
Ma'am, primarily, I think it is about the curiosity feeling and to get to know a lot of subjects about a lot of science that I'm present. I'm currently unaware of. Also, there are movies where much of the science I'm unaware, which I'm still learning. Ma'am. So it is about the curiosity. That curiosity, ma'am.
Okay. So can you tell me like top three Telugu movies which are related to the science fiction that popularized science and technology among the Telugu people?
Ma'am, I'm very unfortunate that there are probably, I can say, no Indian movies that match up to this science fiction category. Very long back, there was one, you can say, a bit that imagined where a person goes back into a Krishna Dev time using a time machine, but there are no as such movies that could match up to the science fiction background.
Okay. Next one, you gave in your DAF that listening to post podcast, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of podcast you will enjoy while listening?
Ma'am, I do not very specifically stick to one particular podcast, ma'am. There are several podcasts that I listen to. For example, the business podcast, the health podcast, recently, which I'm getting interested in, and then some podcasts on politics, some on science, especially the podcast like Infinite Monkey Cage or Brain Cox podcast. So there are several categories which I generally enjoy listening to, and also the news podcast also, ma'am.
Okay. So can you tell me like a significant episode of a podcast which had impact on your personal life? Is there any that kind of episode that you had watched recently?
Yes, ma'am. The recent one is Lieutenant General Huda's podcast that I listened to on Manipur, ma'am. It is just telling me the depth of the conflicts that are there in the society and the patience that one needs to handle social conflicts and especially how to build trust with the public. So these are something that I'm interested in and I'm learning this from these podcasts.
Okay. Can you tell me highlights of COP29 summit?
Uh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I could not actually go through the entire COP. I could not follow the COP because of the results and all of that. I could not
Okay.
follow the COP at all. 29, 28, 27 I could, but 29, I didn't. I'm not aware.
So what is Paris climate deal?
Ma'am, the significant achievement of the Paris climate deal that happened in COP, that is basically the COP21, is shifting from a compulsory reduction in emissions on the developed nations to a nationally determined voluntary contribution scheme. So currently, all the countries are giving their nationally determined contributions. We have our own Panchamrit that we are doing. So now it is voluntary based, and this is the primary shift that has happened in the COP21. And the main goal is that 1.5 degrees Celsius is the goal that we should be able to limit from the industrial. industrial revolution time.
Okay. So my last question to you is, what does this term supercomputer means?
Supercomputers are basically computers with a large computing capability. Unlike the quantum computing, supercomputers are basically the same binary digits with 0 and 1 based computing models, but which have a large computing capacity. They are generally measured in petaflops, ma'am, the computing
Do India
capacity.
have its own supercomputers?
Yes, ma'am. We have around
Mhm.
12 or 13, I think, supercomputers. We have also national supercomputing mission, and one of the supercomputers that I can remember is in metrology department in Pune.
Okay, can you tell me at least three names of supercomputers of India?
Sorry, ma'am, I'm not able to recall the names.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Venkatesh, and nice talking to you.
Thank you.